welcome to What You're Missing Part 2. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about farming materials. I know all of you have seen, or many of you have probably seen, the farming route for Mars and Relic Iron, but I wanted to show you some things that I've learned and talk about some stuff that you might not have noticed. So I'm going to go over to the farming area. I'm on my Titan. For those of you who can recognize a character class at first glance, you may already know that, but so I'm on my Titan, and I'm on my Titan for a very particular reason, because when I leveled him up, it was very quick. He was my third character, and I already had some legendaries stockpiled for him. And as such, there was... let me kill these guys. Get them to stop shooting me. And as such, I had a real dearth of the plasteel plating. So yeah, so getting that has been a real problem, and as a result, whenever I do my farming, I try to use this guy, because when I do the chests, or when I open chests, they give armor sometimes, and it's a good way to get stuff. Alright, so there's a chest in here, and instead of immediately grabbing it, I want you to do me a favor, turn up your sound, and listen when I enter this cave. You hear that really high-pitched sound? That's the chest. The chest is facing away from us, so if you did a quick scan, you might not see it, but if you pay attention, when you enter a closed area, the chest, if it's in there, will make a sound. So I'm going to turn my game sound up here, and there's nothing in here, and as such you can't hear that high-pitched whine or song, as I'm starting to call it. But my point here is that you can literally run into a room and listen for chests, and know whether they're there or not. I find that jumping up from this side is only really possible for a Titan, and I usually don't kill anything. Usually I'm just sort of on a mission, but when you're making a ton of noise on your own, it sort of masks the sound of the chests calling to you with their siren song. But I'm going to run into a few rooms here, and no chest in here. So after we've found a few, I want to like do a couple test runs where we run in, we don't look around at all, and you see if you think you can hear it. And I don't know if it'll translate on YouTube. I hope that it will, because I think it's really cool that if you pay close attention, you can hear these things. So you can hear it even right here. You hear that high-pitched thing? Now, not only can you hear the chests, but many, if not all of the material nodes themselves, like the Relic Iron nodes, or the Spirit Bloom flowers, or the Spin Metal. The only thing that's somewhat confusing is the sound that your flashlight makes, or your ghost makes when it turns into a flashlight, is somewhat in the same frequency range as the chests, so you have to wait a little bit longer when you're in an area where you require the flashlight in order to, listen for the chest. Yeah, so you notice I'm not even looking around, because I could hear that there was nothing in there. You may already know about this. Okay, there's a chest in here. So you hear that? sort of a pulsing, high-pitched thing. So if you can't see the lights, you know, and that's usually the main indicator, is you look for, you know, the green lights in a cave. Alright, now I'm not looking around. You tell me, what do you think? Is there a chest in here? Well, let's take a look. No chest. What about in here? And the best part is that if you're clever and you have some sort of surround sound, whether it's virtual or actual, you will know exactly where that fucking chest is because you can hear it singing to you. Right? There's no sound in here, so we're gonna move on. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, is see how we saw it when we ran in the room, but you can hear it, and you can hear it off to the left. So on numerous occasions, I've been running around with people and seeing chests that other people have missed. So they'll run in, they'll scan, and then they'll run out right as I'm running down there. I'll hear the sound of the chest, and I'll look for it, and it'll be like up on an imaginary crate or something that hasn't, there's a glitch and it, you know, just isn't there, but it's up out of their normal scanning range, or it's facing away from them so they don't see the green lights, and I'll literally have to call them back so they don't miss it. So first lesson of today, listen for the chests, because they're there and they will let you know by an audio cue, and I think that's really cool. You hear that sound? That's the sound of relic iron and of materials. It's very hard to hear, so I'm going to try to give you a different view someplace else where there isn't as much going on. Also, where, like for a different material. So here's one. You hear that? Even from a distance. It's this, you can hear this high-pitched sort of song from the relic iron. Alright, now that we're on Earth,
city needs our help. Let's get to it.
I'm gonna go look for Spirit Bloom. There's a relatively reliable place that I know to look for it, which is down here. Now you hear that? You can hear it already. This is what I'm talking about. See, right there. See, this is beautiful. The chest, I walked in, I could literally hear it, and I knew to just stop and look around for it. So there's a chest, I got a ship, some spin metal. Alright, well I know that there are... So they've also got 3 Hive Majors and Ultras down here. But usually there is a Spirit Bloom node down in the basement here. Mostly for the first I don't know, example, I want to be able to see one, and I want to be able to show you what it sounds like. There's one in the distance. So start listening. Hear that? It's a little bit different than the chest. Isn't that fantastic? I don't know. It's these little things that do it for me. So if you're in an area, or if you're running along, I mean, this is going to be hard to get to that point, but if you get to that point where you've been doing a lot of harvesting, hold on. If you get to the point where you're doing a lot of harvesting, you can be running along in the like out in the valleys and hear the sound of spin metal as you run past it, or hear the sound of spirit bloom, or relic iron, or any of the other, I guess there's only one other, spin metal, relic bloom, relic iron, spirit bloom, and helium. Helium is the same thing. Helium has a sound, and the chests on the moon do as well. Chests on Earth obviously do, with the same that one looking chest, and also so too do the sort of the rustic brown looking chests that they use. I'm going to try to find one for you really quickly, just so that I can give you the example. But so there you have it. So far we've learned two things that maybe we didn't know, and see, no sound, so no chest. There's obviously, I think, going to be exceptions to this, where you're going to go into an area and you're not going to be able to hear the chest, or the chest won't be making sound, or, you know, the nearby... Yeah, so the nearby, you know, sounds of battle and war will be preventing you from hearing what you're supposed to, you know, be listening for. But I think that's great, and there's a chest up there. So I'll go grab that. And wait, listen for it. You hear that? Right as I came up on it. That's how I knew to look over there. You can even hear it over the plane coming in. So there's that. There's that. And moving on. Lastly, what I want to talk to you about is not lastly, I guess, there are these bounties that you get for fusion rifle kills, where you're supposed to kill 2 enemies once with a fusion rifle 20 times. Now, maybe I'll be able to execute on this, maybe not. When I do this bounty, I always go to the Dark Beyond. I always set it at level 9, and because they give this bounty with some frequency, I have always, and they never give the story bounty, or they never do a daily or a bounty for the actual story that I'm doing here.
The hive away from Earth. We hope that would be enough for them.
Or if they do, it doesn't screw this up. But two things to think about, and I guess this is the last set of tips and tricks that I want to talk about. Is first off, when you're doing bounties, like the Divisive Mind yesterday was one of the bounties, and it's early in the mission on Mars, and I think it's the Black Garden mission. And so I usually do what I do. I go and I select the easiest hard difficulty that there is, and usually it's like just from 15 to level 17 on that mission, I think, if I recall correctly. Anyway, the reason why I'm telling you this is that sometimes if you go in, it will start you after the place in the mission where the Divisive Mind is. And why that is because you went, the last time they gave this bounty, you went in there, you killed the Divisive Mind, and then you left. You went on to do the rest of your life. And what this does is it creates a checkpoint in the mission. And so that checkpoint saves your progress in that mission. And so when you go back in to do that same bounty the next time it comes up, you're going to select the same difficulty level and get sent to the spot that you were saved at the last time you went in there. So what you're going to need to do is either complete the mission entirely and then go back in at that difficulty level, or change the difficulty level to 1 higher, 2 higher, 3 higher, or whatever, until you found one that's a fresh start. Unfortunately, this will pretty quickly
Up
lead
ahead.
to
Guardian down.
all of your difficulty levels having a checkpoint right after the divisive mind, in which case you're going to have to go in, complete the mission, and then take care of things from there. So, what we're getting into right now is the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is this fusion rifle bounty. I want to show you something. I've got a fusion rifle. It's got a pretty slow charge rate, which is not great for a lot of these things, but what I do think is real important is if you can find a fusion rifle that has armor-piercing rounds, it will make your life here very easy. So I come to this Dark Beyond mission, and I pull out my fusion rifle with over-penetrating rounds, and if I do this right, and I might not, I might screw this up and it might be a bad example, but if I do this right, I won't actually have to die in order to finish this bounty. Usually you have to come in here, you clear out as many guys as you can, and you die. And then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again until you finish the bounty. The reason why you have to do it again and again and again is because you can only kill so many things before they kill you, or before you run out of stuff that's easy to kill with a fusion rifle. So you have to start it over so you can continue to do this. But over penetrating rounds, the way this bounty actually clocks progress is it's instead of like for each shot you kill 2 or more, you get credit for 1. With 1 shot, if you kill 8 people, you get credit for 4. So you only have to do 20. So if you can kill 8 to 10 people on each shot, you really only need to take 3 or 4 shots in order to make it a success. So these thrall here that we're about to kill are very easy to kill, and that's why we're here.
We've woken the hive.
So we come up here, we whip out our fusion rifle. Alright, so I usually need to run away a little bit, get some health back. Now I head over here because they line up nicely. And see how there's still some down there to kill? There we go, see? All done without having to die. And easy peasy, without even needing to collect ammo or refill the fusion rifle ammo. So, thanks for watching. Today's was, as you are abundantly, or as is abundantly clear at this point, today's was a deep dive into Destiny, another deep dive, tips and tricks, things that I've learned that I haven't really read anywhere on the internet, and hopefully you can benefit from them, and it will make your farming experiences better and your experiences getting bounties done a little bit easier. So, thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, give it a thumbs up if you like what you saw, and I will see you next week.